What if I told you that one simple dress could change a little girl's destiny forever? That your passion for sewing could literally transform lives around the world and become a powerful expression of God's love? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how that's possible. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Inspired by His Grace. I'm Kendra Arocho, and this is where we explore what it means to live as warrior women of faith in today's world. If you've been following my series on finding your God-given purpose, you know we've been talking about how to discover and live out your calling. Today's video is a beautiful example of what it looks like when passion meets purpose in action. We're going to see how something as simple as sewing can be a powerful ministry tool. Let me tell you about an incredible organization called Dress a Girl Around the World. Since October 2009, more than 2 million dresses have been distributed to 90 countries, including the United States. But this wasn't just about clothing. It's about dignity, protection, and hope. You see, when you provide a new dress to a young girl who has never had one, you're doing so much more than covering her body. You're telling her that God loves her, that someone she's never met loves her enough to create something beautiful just for her. Can you imagine the impact of that message on that little heart that may have never felt valued? But there's even more. Village pastors tell us that a girl wearing a new dress presents an appearance that she is well cared for, which might discourage would-be predators. The Dress a Girl Around the label attached to each dress sends an additional message that this child is under the care of an organization giving her added protection from those who might harm her, predators, traffickers who might prey on those vulnerable children. This is what I mean when I talk about passion meeting purpose. Maybe you love to sew. Maybe you enjoy crafting. Maybe you just want to use your hands to serve God. This is how you can transform that passion into kingdom purpose. Every stitch becomes a prayer. Every seam becomes an act of worship. Every dress becomes a tangible expression of God's love for His daughters around the world. This is purposeful living in action, sisters. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to sew one of these precious dresses. The pattern is simple enough for beginners, but the impact is eternally significant. I'll provide a link in the description for the written instructions. Whether you're making one dress, 100, or like this dress here, which is my sister Gail's 1000th dress, you're participating in something beautiful that God is doing around the world. So grab your fabric, your thread, your machines, and let's turn our passion for creating into a purpose-driven ministry that changes lives. Because when we align our gifts with God's heart for the vulnerable, that's when ordinary becomes extraordinary. Are you ready to see how your sewing skills can change the world? Let's get started. You'll need a sewing machine and a serger, but the serger isn't required, an ironing board, and an iron. Let's walk through what you'll need. A Dress a Girl label, fabric for the dress, fabric for pockets, and trim for pockets. You'll need armhole templates, 2 pieces of bias tape, scissors, straight pins, safety pins, threads, and 2 full bobbins to make things easier, 2 pieces of elastic. The armhole templates are provided in the instructions. Make sure you download it as you work through your project. Let's start to prepare the dress. Make sure you choose a 42 to 44 inch cheerfully colored high quality cotton or cotton blend in any length ranging from 16 inches to 39 inches. If you have a serger, now is a good time to try to serge both the top and the bottom of the fabric, as you can see here. Step 2 involves making the pockets and then sewing the pockets on the dresses. The first step is actually making the pockets. You'll cut out coordinated fabric, 14 inches by 7 inches, and then fold in half. And you'll do the same for the second pocket, 7 by 7 inches, and lightly iron it. You'll then sew a 1/4 inch along the 3 sides, and you'll want to leave an inch opening on one side of the pocket. You can see here where I've stopped and started to leave the 1 inch opening. Next, you'll snip off all the corners and extra threads and turn the pocket inside out. Once you've sewed the pocket and turn it inside out so that the wrong sides are together, make sure to get those pocket edges nice and crisp, and then iron them and roll those edges if you need to get a nice clean line. You'll also want to, once you've ironed it, put your trim or any other embellishments on the pocket. Now's a good time to sew the Dress a Girl label onto the pocket as well. Now back to the sewing machine to sew on the trim. Look at how adorable this beautiful trim is on the dress. Make sure you're securing it on the top and the bottom. Still with the pockets, step 2 is sewing the pockets onto the dress. So take your fabric, holding it lengthwise, fold the dress fabric in half, wrong sides together, and then half again. Place a pin in the center of the folds. You can see that here as I circle that and draw an arrow to it. At the pin line, take a ruler and measure 1.5 to 2.5 inches and line the pockets up and pin them onto the dress. Back to the sewing machine, sew pockets down on the sides and the bottom. You'll follow this for both pockets, sewing them down onto the dress. Let's move to step 3, the back seam and hem of the dress. With the right sides of the fabric together, we're going to pin down that back seam. We'll be creating what we'll call a tube, which is the full dress. As you can see, we don't need a lot of pins for that. And we sew down about 3/4 of an inch. And if you have your serger, now's a good time to come over and serge that back seam. And see how we created that tube? And our pockets are beautifully aligned. We'll want to press out that back seam as well. Turn under the hem 1/2 inch. Make sure if you don't serge to have a clean edge by folding 1/4 inch and then another 1/4 inch. At the sewing machine, you'll want to sew a 1/2 inch hem. And then, for extra security of that hem so it won't come out, you'll actually stitch another 1/4 inch. So as you can see here. On to step 4, mark and cut the armholes. With wrong sides together and pockets facing up, find the center front of the dress by stretching out the dress from the back seam. Now fold the dress in half, making sure those pockets are facing up like I just showed you here. Place the armhole template on the folded fabric and pin. Always check that the pockets are facing upwards and cut out the armhole as you can see here. When cutting, make sure you're cutting through all 4 layers of fabric and that you're on the fold. And when you open it up, you'll see that the pockets are facing up and the armholes are on the side. Step 5, making the casing. Press under 3/4 of an inch from the top to make a casing on the front and back of the dress. Make sure you have a clean edge if you haven't serged this by tucking it under 1/4 of an inch. Sew down the casing, leaving enough room for the elastic to slide through easily. If you choose to add another seam at the top of the casing, it makes a nice ruffled look. Step 6, pulling elastic through the casing. Use a safety pin to pull the elastic through the casing. And as you work it through the casing, secure the end piece of the elastic to the side of the casing. You'll do this for both the front and the back of the dress. As you can see here, we're going to pull the elastic through that casing. As we head back to the sewing machine, we're going to attach at the end with stitches and back stitches. So we'll securely go back and forth, making sure that elastic is secure on the side of the dress. Step 7, fabric straps. Cut the length of the strap fabric for the size indicated on the measurement chart. Lightly press them. To find the center, fold the dress and put a pin in the center of the armhole. You'll then take your bias tape and fold that in half, placing a pin in the center of the bias tape. You'll do that for both sides of the dress and bias tape. Now you'll take those pins and you'll line them up, pinning the bias tape onto the armhole. This will give you a good center location so the straps are even between the front and the back of the dress. Take care in folding the ends of the bias tape for a clean strap. Once pinned, you'll head back to the sewing machine. Starting at one end of the bias tape, begin sewing the tape closed. Continue sewing, binding the edge of the armhole with the tape. Make sure you give yourself enough room to catch the edges of the tape on the inside and outside of the dress. This will complete your beautiful sundress for a precious girl. I hope this tutorial has inspired you to see how beautifully your passion for sewing can become a purpose-driven ministry. Every dress you create is a tangible prayer, a message of love, and potentially a life-changing gift for a precious girl who needs to know she matters. If you're ready to get involved, here are some next steps. First, visit dressagirlaroundtheworld.com for everything you need: patterns, shipping information, and inspiring stories from the field. You'll see precisely how your dresses are making a difference in the lives of real girls around the world. Second, look for a local chapter and ambassadors in your area. Many communities have groups that sew together, ship together, and pray together. There's something powerful about joining other women who share this art for vulnerable children. Check the website for chapters near you, or consider becoming an ambassador yourself. And third, if this video has stirred something in your heart about discovering your God-given purpose, I invite you to explore my comprehensive YouTube series on finding your calling. We walk through 5 transformative steps that will help you uncover how God wants you to use your unique gifts, passions, and experiences for His kingdom. The playlist link is right here on your screen and in the description below. Remember, you were created on purpose for a purpose. Whether it's through sewing dresses or whatever calling God has placed on your heart, He wants to use you to bring hope and healing to this world. If this message blessed you today, please like this video and subscribe to join our community of warrior women living out their faith with purpose. And don't forget to share this with a friend who loves to sew or who's searching for ways to make a kingdom impact. Until next time, keep sewing love into the world, one stitch at a time.